Okay, hi, sixth grade. It's Mrs. K. You can hear me, but you can't see me, and that's okay. I am going to walk you through the next step of our research on presidents. Now, you should have narrowed it down to the one that you want to do, and if you did last week's assignment, then you would have looked up your president to see if I had any books in the library on your president, and then to see if you could find a website you could use to research your president also. Okay, so Mrs. K filled out my paper. I picked Millard Fillmore, and so I went to this website. I had put it as a link in the assignment, and then I clicked on McCreary, but if you're at Rain, you would click on Rain, and I put in his name, Millard Fillmore, and then I did a keyword search, which we have done before, so you know how to do that. And then it brought up books about Millard Fillmore that I have in the library, and I have two that I had found. Okay, this one is by Heidi Elston, and the call number is 92. And remember, if it's a 92, that means it is a biography. It's in the reference section. Okay, and then the second one is Profiles of the President, Millard Fillmore, and then it was by Andrew Santella. And again, the call number was 92 FIL. And then I decided to do a search on one of the websites that I gave you. And I used Kittl, and I put in Millard Fillmore. And then I found a website that's the Miller Center website. And here's the web address. And it's actually the website I have up in the background, that I could use this website also to find information on Millard Fillmore. Okay, so that is what we did last week. Some of you turned it in on Cami, and some of you never turned it in. Okay, so I hope you have an idea of what president you're going to do research on. The ones that did turn it in, I will mark your president books on the cart, and I will have two sets of books on the cart that have all of the presidents. Okay, and you're going to have to share the books. So if someone has one of the books, then try using the other one until they are done, or you pick a different president. Okay. All right. This is the outline that you're going to be writing the answers in. Mrs. K was going to do it as a Cami document, but I'm not, because I didn't have a lot of people actually do the Cami document last time and turn it in. So this time you're going to write the answers, and you are going to turn it into your teacher, and Mrs. K is going to collect it from them. All right, so my name would go at the top, Mrs. K, and then your teacher's name will go here. All right, so this goes right through. We have personal statistics. You're going to get 1 point each for your answer. We have presidential statistics, 1 point each for your answer. And then we have family statistics, 1 point each. And then we have two interesting facts of your choice. And then we have our references. We're going to write one for a book, and this tells us exactly how we're to do that. And then we're going to write one for the website. Okay? All right, let's go back to the beginning, because Mrs. K is going to walk through this entire thing for you today. All right, personal statistics, 1 point each. I'm looking for his name, when he was born, when he died, if he's dead. If he's not, then you just put not dead, and his occupation before presidency. All right, I'm going to use this book first, because this one has a lot of information in it. So that's the blue book, and there's one for each president. And I'm going to write his name, Millard Fillmore. There is absolutely no reason to spell it wrong if it is right in front of you. Please remember that. All right, so capital M, ILLARD, capital F, ILLMORE. All right, I need to find his birth date. Well, in the back of the blue book, there is a nice section that tells us all of this information about Millard Fillmore. All right, so if we start here and we look, of course, there's a nickname. But I could use that as my interesting fact. But here, he was born January 7th, 1800. And I am going to write it just like that. I'm going to write out the month, then the day, comma, and then the year. Okay, so I'm going to put January 7th, capital J, $1800. Okay, now I need to find when he died. And if I look down at the bottom, there it is. He died March 8th, 1874 in Buffalo, New York. So I'm going to put March 8th, capital M, comma, 1874. If it tells you where and you want to put where, you can do that. Okay? All right. Occupation means job. Occupation before presidency. What did he do before he became the president? Okay. And there it is. Okay. Occupation before presidency. He was a lawyer and a politician. Okay. Not after presidency. Occupation before. It's the first one. So we're going to put lawyer and politician. Okay. So he was a lawyer and politician. Okay. All right. My first section is filled out. All right. Okay. Presidential statistics. What number president is he? If we find this book, and it tells you on the cover what number he is. He is the 13th president. So I'm going to put 13. All right. Date of when he went into office. Some of them might have more than one date because they might have been the president and then they weren't, and then they came back and were president again. So let's go back to the blue book, and it will tell me dates in office. Okay. So Millard Fillmore went in office July 10th of 1850. He came out March 4th of 1853. Okay, so the first one is when he went in. Okay, and that is July 10th. We're going to write it out. And then when he came out of office, that was March 4th of 1853. This blue book is important. Okay? It has almost everything you need. There might be a couple things we have to look elsewhere for, but it has almost everything. All right, his party affiliation. Okay, that means, was he a Democrat? Was he a Republican? Those kinds of things. And so that one is also in the blue book. Okay, so back in the 1800s, though, they had a lot of different names for their party affiliation. So he has anti-Mason, and they were called Whig and Know Nothing. Those are his party affiliations. So I'm going to put all those down. Anti-Mason, capital W, Whig, and then what's called the Know Nothing. Okay. All right. And who was the vice president during his presidency? And that also tells me in the blue book, if you look, vice president, how about that? None. Okay. He didn't have one. Okay. So we're going to put none. All right. So my second section is done. So we're going to go down to his family statistics. Who are his parents? All right, back to the blue book. There's his mother, Phoebe Millard Fillmore, and his father's name was Nathaniel Fillmore. So you would put Nathaniel and Phoebe Fillmore. Okay, Nathaniel and Phoebe Fillmore. Does he have any siblings? Okay, well, if I look in the blue book, it doesn't tell me that here. It tells me who he married and his wives and his children, but it doesn't tell me his siblings. So I'm going to look in the other book to see if it tells me if he has any siblings. This one is always the hardest one to find. Okay, so there is a chapter in this book that's called Family and Politics, and then another one called Young Millard. I'm going to look at page 8 to see if it says anything about siblings when he was a child. Okay, here's what I found. And it's fine to write it this way. You may find their names, you may not find their names, okay? And then look at the political party in this book was just Whig, so this one's a little bit different than the other book. All right. Millard Fillmore was born in Cuyahoga County, New York on January 7th, 1800. He had 3 sisters and 5 brothers. We don't know their names, so we're going to put down 3 sisters and 5 brothers. Okay. All right. So it's okay if you don't know their names. Not a big deal. His wife and spouse. All right. So we go back to the blue book, and that does tell us who his wife, well, wives. He had more than one. He had Abigail Powers Fillmore. She died in 1853. That was his first wife. And then Carolyn Carmichael McIntosh Fillmore. And then that's when she died. So he had 2 wives because the first one died and then he remarried. So I'm going to put down Abigail Fillmore. And then the other one was Carolyn Fillmore. Okay. If you had room and you wanted to put like the dates that Abigail lived, you could do that. And then you could put the dates that Carolyn lived. Okay. All right. They had, he had 2 children. So we have he named him Millard Powers Fillmore and Mary Abigail Fillmore. So I'm going to put down 2 children. And then I'm going to put Millard and Mary. Okay. All right, Mrs. K is done with the first 3 sections of my research. Most of it is found right in that blue book, but I did have to go to this book to get the number and then to see if I could find how many siblings he had. You might have to do that also. You might have to go to the website. Let's look at the website real quick to see. He's 13. There he is. See if it tells us about his siblings on here. There we go. Okay, so here's Millard. All right. It might be under Life in Brief. It could be under family life. I'm not sure. You would have to read through to see if it tells you about his siblings. Okay, this is the one that's going to be challenging to find because it's always the one that's challenging to find on how many brothers and sisters the presidents had. Okay, all right. Mrs. K is going to go back to the first page there. Okay, all right, Mrs. K is going to flip it over because I have to find two facts. Mrs. K changed this over the years. It used to be more specific. I'm fine with two interesting facts about the president. Okay, there's a lot of information in the books, so you can leaf through the book and find something that is interesting about the president. I'm going to put one of them, I'm going to put down his nickname for one of mine, and then I'm trying to find one other thing. All right, so let's put down his nickname, and that's in the blue book. There it is. Okay. Here's his nickname, the American Louis Philippe. So I'm going to put down Millard Fillmore. Had a nickname. His nickname is, I'm going to write it just like the way it is in the book, the American Louis Philippe. This K messed up there. It's just one L. L-I. Okay, so there is his nickname. All right, in the back of the blue book and in the back of the other book, there is a timeline. You might find something interesting on the timeline about your president also. So I'm going to show you the timeline. Oh, it's in the beginning of the one book, in the back of the other book. Okay, so in the beginning of the one book, there is what's called a timeline. And it goes, this one is a small one in this book. Okay, it looks like this. And then in the blue book, it's a little bit bigger. It goes the other way. It goes down. So in the one book, it goes across. In this one, it goes down. Okay, but these facts, like the president's life is on one side, and then world events and what's happening in the world is on the other side. That's not an interesting fact about the president. So you need to look on this side of the timeline, okay? And to be honest, he doesn't really have a lot of like unique information. I am going to include three other books that have facts about presidents, so you might find something interesting in those books as well. So I guess I'm just going to put down this one, that in 1823 is when he became a lawyer. So I'm going to put down he became a lawyer in 1823. If you want to read through the book and find something interesting for your fact, you can do that also. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Okay, look at the timelines. or look at the other 3 books I have as a resource. All right, so we have references to do at the bottom. We are going to write one for one of the books, and then we are going to write one for one of the websites, okay? We are going to do this after you fill out your outline. So you're going to do your outline first, and then we are going to do it together. Mrs. K is going to record another video and walk you step by step in writing the citation for the books, because we have to give credit to the resources that we used. I can't take this information and not put down the book or books that I used, because then it's stealing the information and it's plagiarism, and we don't want to do that. Okay, so we have to do citations for the books and the website. If you didn't use a website, okay, that's fine. We will put down both books, okay, and we'll do 2 of these. If you use the website, all right, Mrs. K will walk you through the website also. So it depends on what you ended up doing, but I'm going to do a completely separate video for this the next week. So you're watching this entire video as an example, and then the next week you're going to actually do your research, and then the week after that we will do our citations together. Okay? All right. It's pretty much easy to do. The information is right there. Usually what happens is you would take your information from library class and you would take it to computer class, and then you would create a website with Mr. Weiss, but that's not going to happen this year because you don't have computer class. So Mrs. K might come up with a different little flip book you can make for our presidents, and then we can share them if we wanted to that way. Or you can turn them in, and Mrs. K can make a cute little slideshow of all of your flip books. Whatever we decide to do, okay? Whatever Mrs. K decides to do. I'm not exactly sure yet. All right, so that is how to fill out the outline, and Mrs. K will talk to you next time. All right, I will see you later, boys and girls.